5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
That wasn't supposed to happen.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice to all. Justice for all. We like to God bless the USA and thank you to all of our many global listeners who listen to us.
If you're trying to take your HVAC game to the next level, then buckle your seatbelt, crank up the volume, and try not to be offended, because you're listening to the HVAC Uncensored podcast with Gil Cavey and Kelley McKay. Now, here's Gil and Kelley.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 40 of the HVAC Uncensored podcast. I am yours truly, Gil Cavey, sitting across from my good buddy, yours truly, Kelley McKay. What's up, bro?
Not much. Feeling good. Got a great episode tonight for you guys.
Yeah, I think so, man. We've been trying to we're doing a lot of stuff we're trying to do based off of the feedback and things that you guys give us, things that, you guys are asking us questions, and then me and Kelley are just trying to put, the knowledge or experience that we have towards it, or at least bullshit our way through the other half of it. I mean, enough to make you guys okay.
Yeah. So tonight, we're going to get into firing customers. I know Gil's got a couple of stories to tell. I've got a couple stories to tell, and I'm sure you guys have some stories to tell as well. So we'd love to hear them after you hear this episode, and share it with your friends, family, and coworkers. And be sure to like us, and leave us a review. But after you do all of that, we want you to share in the group. When is the time that you had to fire a customer? I know that there'll be some great stories come out of that, but tonight we're going to talk about some of our stories. So do you want to start off tonight, Gil?
Actually, I'll let you go, only because
Okay.
I'm kind of going between a couple of stories.
Okay. So some of you know this story if you've read my book. So this was,
I have.
okay. So you probably know what I'm going to say. This was a landlord, of course, our favorite customers, landlords, right? So this was like a Friday evening, and I was working, of course, because that's all I did. And it was probably, 7:00 in the evening, and I was heading to one of my final calls, and it was way on the south side of town. And I was on the bypass, and as soon as the guy called me and said his rental didn't have cooling, and it was like 100 degrees outside, like the exit was right there. So I took the immediate exit. I was literally pulling in the house within 3 to 5 minutes of this phone call. Like, phenomenal service, right? He just caught me at a great time as I was driving by there on my way to my last call. So I pull in there. I find that the run capacitor's bad, the condenser's filthy, the evaporator coil is filthy, the filter's filthy, and it needs some refrigerant. So I bust ass on this thing, and I was probably done in about an hour. and I cleaned everything. Like the evaporator cool was fairly accessible, so I could get my hand in there and clean it real quick and change the filter, wash the condenser, did all this stuff. And I think his bill, because I wasn't charging enough, was probably $150 to $160.
Jesus.
Oh, I mean, like this was 2008. So, and
Giving that shit away.
I was literally giving it away. So phenomenal service, did all of that shit, charged him hardly anything. I sent him the bill. About 2-3 weeks later, he sends back the check, but he also sends with the check a printed off eBay picture of this capacitor, the same capacitor I changed, for $20. So it was kind of like a fuck you. I mean, that's how I took it. It's like, hey, you charged me, $45 for this $20 part, or whatever it was that I charged him. And so that was the last thing I ever did for that particular gentleman. Every time he would call in the meantime, we were like 2 weeks away. Like I just couldn't get there. We were too busy. So the bottom line and the point of this entire podcast is that it's okay to fire customers. We provide a good service.
For sure.
We provide a good service. We care way more than they do. And I'm going to tell you right now, and this is going to be a hard pill for people to swallow. And this was our buddy Texas told me this, and he's so right. So I want to share it. But when you really think about it deep down, I mean, really give some thought to this. Customers don't give a shit about you. Now, I know. Yeah. Thank you. That's for Texas, Now, do we love them? Fuck yes, we fucking love them. Like we will leave our family sitting at the dining table in the middle of a nice family meal to go take care of them, right? Like we will cancel our plans. We will leave the Thanksgiving dinner table to go help them. We will do all of this shit for them no matter what. We are there. It is our job, and we take so much pride and we care so much and love them so much that we would do all this for them. But in the event that you can't get to them for 3 days because you're too busy with people with real problems or whatever the case, if they could get somebody else, trust me, they will. And they will fire you in a heartbeat. So you have every right to fire people who do not appreciate your value, do not appreciate what you do for them, do not appreciate your level of professionalism and just how much you love them. You have the right to fire them. So what are your thoughts on that, Gil? I ranted there for a minute.
No, but it's good because I was actually going to bring up some of the same things. First and foremost, guys, think about all the stuff we're going to say today. All has to be on a basis that you're doing the right things, that you are providing a good service. You're doing everything you have to do for your customers, that you're justifying why you charge a certain price. You're using quality parts. You're doing, amazing service. You get there on time, everything is good. And I say that because you can't be missing some of those elements. And then a customer bitches about your price and then you get angry, because some of that can fall on you because you didn't create value. But we're saying for this podcast that you're doing everything that you're supposed to do, that we're going to give you the benefit of the doubt. This is not on your end. This is going to be on the customer. And guys, Kelley is right. For example, you ever had it where, you think you're doing the right thing and you might tell a customer something, I don't know, like, oh, I don't know if I would get that through us because, it's a little expensive, or I didn't tell you this, but, blah, blah, blah. You think that customer is going to hold your fucking secret? Or, hey, how about you throw me $20 and I'll do this for you? The first time something goes wrong, oh, well, last time Gil was out here, he said A, B, C, D, and he fixed this for me and wasn't supposed to. They will throw you under the fucking bus in a heartbeat. So it's just, and to be honest, it's hard for me to say some of that stuff just because I'm a very personable person. And I got some customers that I have known for years. I mean, I love these people. I mean, they give me birthday presents, Christmas cards, and those aren't the ones that I need to worry about. But guys, there's going to be some customers. We all know what we're talking about, those eBay shoppers and stuff like that, that no matter how good you are at your job, how much value that you create, you're going to be too expensive. Oh, I can get this part on eBay. I can do this. And me and Kelley have debated whether it's even worth trying to explain to them that maybe it's better off just I'm sorry you feel that way and just part ways. Because I feel like getting into a debate or an email battle or phone call, whatever, with that customer is just going to be like beating a dead horse, because they're obviously not going to see what you're trying to say, that you're trying to run a business, and they're not going to pay what you pay for. And all the analogies that we've given, over the years, that you don't go into a restaurant and bring your own steak. Be like, oh, instead of paying $20, can you cook this for me? Or, yada, yada, yada. But
yeah, and back to what you just said there, you were talking about getting birthday presents and how much these people care about you. Well, I'm telling you, Gil, this is what I'm talking about. If when push comes to shove, if they're hot and you can't get there and your company can't provide the service that they need, they will call somebody else, is what I'm saying. It doesn't matter how much they love you. They need to stay comfortable, right? And we would do the same thing. We would do the same thing.
They do. And yes, they would. But one thing I can say is I have had quite a few customers over the years that have waited.
Sure.
So I've been able to come out. Yeah. So, and that's what I mean. Yes. There's some of those customers that we have that relationship that they will wait. But let's be honest, those aren't the customers that we're going to be having these problems with. Those people are the customers that you've been doing, for the most part, that are good. Although there is going to be some of those long-term customers that all of a sudden somebody gets a new positions, or somebody trades places, or, in the commercial stuff, or something can happen. But most of the time, the ones that have been customers for a long time are okay. Normally it's the newer or the newish customers, but I do agree it can happen to any of them. I do agree with that.
Yeah, somehow, I mean, we're kind of looking at two completely different viewpoints here. I'm not saying that you're not going to have people who won't wait for you. Never intended that, and I'm not meaning that when I say the customers don't care. I'm saying maybe this makes sense, a little more sense, is that we're going to care far more than they do when it comes to their systems working, when it comes to the service that we want to give. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
Yeah, agreed. We were on the same side. It might have sounded like it wasn't, and it is. And I probably shouldn't have brought up the birthday cards and stuff like that, because out of all the customers, that's a small handful. But I agree. There's some customers that I've been doing for years that we're buddy when we're there. But I agree. If they called and said, hey, my AC's broke, I need someone out today, and we couldn't do it. Oh, we can't be out for a couple of days. That somebody else is going to be out there.
Right. And they may even call you back if they're not completely blown away by the company that they called when you couldn't get there. I'm not saying that either. I'm saying when push comes to shove, I don't know how to explain it in a way that is not going to either offend somebody or make you think I'm totally wrong. I know that I'm not totally wrong when it comes to this. It's like, it's just hard to explain. It's like, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I believe if you're in this industry, if you're in any service industry, we take a certain standard of pride in our work, and we take a certain standard and pride in our reputation. And so we will move heaven and earth for people to try to make it right with them in any way, shape, or form. We'll also, like I said, we're the ones leaving our families Christmas morning when the kids are opening presents to go run a service call. We do what's needed when it's needed. And I think it's because we have servant hearts. Like, I think anyone in the service business, you've, especially residential, you have a servant's heart. Like, you want to help people. You enjoy it. There's a part of you that enjoys it. I don't care who you are or what you say or how much you bitch about your job. There's still a part of you that enjoys helping people. It's human nature. And what I'm saying is that level and that depth of wanting to help our customers will always be deeper than the customer's level towards us and using our services, if that makes sense.
No, it does. And I don't know. I think we're somehow getting confused because I know what you're saying and I agree with you.
Okay.
So
okay.
So just know that I agree with you. That's why I said before that maybe some of my comments and my stories kind of contradicted what I was trying to get
right.
across to you.
Right.
But it is right. So long story short, guys, whether the person has been a customer for 50 years, 1 day, 1 year, etc., we cannot let customers take advantage of us. Okay. We charge what we charge because we are providing a quality product. We're doing a quality service and we're trying to make money. Guys, bottom line, and this is another one that maybe some people don't want to hear it, is we're in business to make money. That's it. Plain and simple. It's not to build relationships and all this other stuff. Are those things good? Yes, because those are going to help you make profit, help you make money. But nobody says, man, I want to open a company because I want to make a whole bunch of friends. Nobody says that. They say they want to.
I want to work 24/7.
Yeah, exactly. They start a business because they want to make money, and sometimes all these other perks and other things have to happen in order for you to be successful to make money. But that's why we do it. And if you're legitimately priced, like you guys, I mean, if you're price gouging, then that's different. People are just calling you out, and they probably should be. But the problem is sometimes customers think you're price gouging and you're not, because they don't know what the price should be. Those kind of times, and even the customers that have been there for a while, you got to make it uniform. The only discounts you give, or whatever your company gives, like, your standard discount for being a service contract customer, blah, blah, blah. If you have a special going off, oh, hey, $30 off a service call or whatever it is, that's the only discounts that you give. You can't have a customer that's going to try to use their loyalty to try to use it against you. Oh, we got to change the compressor on this. It's going to be, $2,500. I'm just making up a number. Man, well, that's a lot of money. I mean, we've been a customer with you for a long time, Gil. I mean, like, yeah, I know. I mean, I appreciate that. You guys definitely have. And that's why I'd love to get this thing taken care of for you. It just thinks it's one of those, it's the most expensive part on there, and if they keep trying to take you down, then, I mean, you sometimes you got to walk away, guys. This is what we mean by the title of this podcast is don't be afraid to fire a customer.
Well, back to the caring thing, as far as the caring thing, if once you've been in the business long enough, there's going to be a customer that you really care about and you love, and you get to see them twice a year, and you go out there for years, and they have an old piece of shit and you fix it every time it breaks, no matter what time of day it is. And when it comes time that it's finally time to replace that POS system that you've been babying for years, then they go with somebody else. Like, sooner or later, that's going to happen to you if you're a service technician and you do residential. It happens in business too, on the commercial side. everybody who's been in the business for any amount of time has been through this. And
I used to take that personally.
sickening. It's sickening.
Yeah, I used to take that personally. Like, it would literally hurt my feelings. Like, it would really bother me.
Yeah, I would think something's wrong with you if it didn't bother you. Like, it really, but there goes back to that feeling thing again. The customer doesn't care. They don't care if they're going to go with somebody else. I'm not saying all customers, but a lot of them, if they can save a couple $100 and go with somebody cheaper, a lot of times they will. If you're not, even though you've been babying the system for years and years and years. I'm not saying every single customer, so do not take me wrong on this. You guys know what I'm talking about because it's happened to you, and it's heartbreaking. Like, you fought for this system, and you undercharged on a lot of calls. You gave calls away for free for them. I can about guarantee you did. And then it gets time to actually down to like, okay, I'm going to make a little bit of money here. It's finally died. It's time to upgrade the system. And they go with somebody else.
Yeah. It's kind of
that's happened, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of the bend but not break. So I want to kind of backtrack on what I said when I said stick to your discounts. I'm not saying don't help your customers and don't go above and beyond for your loyal customers, because there's sometimes that I've tweaked things and made things work for customers that I know that were loyal to us. And like Kelley just said, but I did that in the hopes that I'm going to make it back in the long run. So I'm not saying don't help customers, but what we're saying is, you know, these people are going to do what's best for them. Always. They don't care about your bottom line and what's best for you and what's best for your company. To be honest, Kelley, I know you don't want to go too in depth to that story, but I think that where we are, that story would really tie a lot of this together.
Yeah, I won't get specific, but so recently we've been doing work for this small organization, and they have probably, gosh, I haven't been out there for quite a while. Like, you know, the guys take care of it, but I know what's going on within the company as far as like when we're doing calls for them, when the contract's up, that kind of stuff. So, but I want to say I used to take care of it for a couple of years. I helped a couple of times take care of all their units. So they have multiple properties, all within about, I would say, a half mile of each other. And it's way out in the country. You know, it's a 30-minute drive just for us to get out there. And so they probably have about 18 to 22 systems, something like that. I can't even remember how many they have.
Go country.
Yeah.
Back to my roots. Sorry.
So basically they were questioning the service they were getting for the price they were paying. I know that I've had a handle on the service that we provided out there. And I've, you know, pulled guys aside and talked to them about it. And like, I have every, and I'm going to stick behind my team 100%. I'm here. I'm fighting for them. No matter what happens out there in the field, I know how difficult their job is. I know what they go through. I know how good of job they do. Once in a while, do we make mistakes? Everybody does. Yes, we make mistakes, but we've done a pretty darn good job. And anytime they call, we jump because of this contract. You know, every time they call, we jump, head out there, get them fixed as quickly as we can. But anyhow, for the last year, every time we send a bill of any kind, whether it be the maintenance contract bill, like, tell me this, Gil. So let's say you have a property, a group of properties, 21 units that you're going to maintenance. And it's, you know, one person pays the bill, the business owner pays the bill who owns these properties. When you write up that contract, do you have to separate every single contract? And I'm not saying this is completely out of line. It's just we've never had to do it before. And this is just one example. Do you separate it to each address and how many systems are on each address? Or do you say 20 system, spring and fall maintenance includes filter changing, oiling, you know, checking charge, washing, cleaning, blah, blah, blah. Do you normally list it like that, or do you list each individual property?
You mean when like we're like doing a contract with them?
Yeah.
Doing the contract, we'd probably just have it all, like you said, 20 something units. At some point, we would have it individualized, like writing our tickets, or we would have it noted somewhere on our end, all the addresses listed in that contract, but we wouldn't put it in the actual contract itself.
No, I totally get that. And that's how we do. Like if we did a repair at a specific house, we have a map of the property and we're going to list what they call that house, because they have different names for all the houses. Instead of going by address, they just call it a certain house. So we would say, red house, adobe house, whatever the name of the house is. We would just list it. And then, write a detailed report on what we found or did. Anyhow, she sends me a long list of stuff that they don't feel they're getting the value. And here's the list of what we'd like checked on all the units. But we're going to shop around because we think we're paying too much. So basically, a big old long list of 30 some items that she wants done on every single unit, which some of this includes like cleaning evaporator coils, pulling blower wheels. Well, if the blower wheel needs to be pulled and cleaned, if it's to the point where it really needs that, we're going to bring it to their attention and give them a price to do that. But it's not included in our regular service. It's a charge above and beyond. Excuse me. So cleaning the evaporator coil, if it's accessible. Well, yeah, if it's accessible, we'll clean it. And we normally wouldn't charge extra for that. But if we have to use some coil cleaner or something to really get it clean, then that would be a charge above and beyond. But there's a whole bunch of other stuff on there that was not typical service stuff that we're going to just cover on every single thing without being a charge above and beyond. So, like I said, for the last year and a half, not only about just the contract itself being specific to every single property, but they also want, like, it would take a week and a half of sending a bill, just a simple bill back and forth to make it be listed the way they wanted it listed. Like it was just nitpicky, and I just didn't see the point in it. And my general manager and my bookkeeper were really getting frustrated because they've sent her like, 3-4 different versions of this bill, and it still wasn't right. She wanted something different. And so we're just kind of at the end of our rope with dealing with this place. And then she sends me that email and wants a lower price and wants more service, and it was just time to cut ties. So basically we politely said, we think it's best that we both go our separate ways at this time. Thank you so much for your business in the past, and we hope you find somebody that can make you happy. So 2 weeks later, she's basically trying to stab us. I'm just ignoring. We're not even going to respond. There's no need to respond. But they're like questioning our core values. And that's something I really take to heart. And it's like, once again, it's like that. They're just, because I care so much, even though I don't want to do work for them because they've become too difficult to work for, I still care. It's not that I don't care. I just think it's better that we just part ways. But it still hurts my feelings that they would even question that, because I know for a fact that our current team, we have the best team that we've ever had. They're the hardest working, the friendliest, most courteous, polite people who care, who would never lie, like just really good people on our team right now. And so I take it personal when somebody calls that out. So it's really tempting for me to jump on a fence and bite back, but I'm just not going to. It's just not going to be worth it for me. We're just ready to part ways. So basically we fired her. We fired that contract where we found them to be more and more difficult to deal with. So does that suck? Yeah. Is there a little bit of revenue there that we'll probably have to make up somewhere else? Yes. but it's going to be with better customers who appreciate what we do and don't question everything we do, and who will not make us rewrite our bill 4 times before they decide to pay it. So,
not to mention all the
Yeah.
money that you would have lost if you'd agreed to that.
oh yeah,
You know,
to the
if you'd
new
agreed to that
contract.
terms,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
but hey, real fast, because we went a little longer,
Yeah.
we'll just do them all now. We're going to take a little word from our sponsors. Guys, I'm going to start off with Yellow Jacket. Guys, Yellow Jacket is one of the best, companies in this industry, man. They've been around for 70 years creating quality products, for the HVAC refrigeration field. Guys, I'm going to say this to everybody. Even though I think that, let's say this. You got a summer checklist. You're going through to do all your stuff. Do I got a new tool bag? Check. Hey, do I have a new manifold? Check, which should be a Yellow Jacket manifold. But hey, if it's not, how are the seals and stuff on my hoses? Are they good? No, they're not. Guys, because they should be brand new Yellow Jacket hoses on your brand new Yellow Jacket manifold. Guys, you should be getting that P51 870 with those new Yellow Jacket hoses out there ready to bust it out and rock and roll this summer. Guys, if you are looking for any tools, vacuum pumps, recovery machines, manifolds, hoses, guys, check out Yellow Jacket. I promise you, you'll be happy. And guys, always remember, 70 years of expertise built into every tool. Yellow Jacket.
If you've been in business for any amount of time and you are still writing paper invoices, you got to get on to House Call Pro. House Call Pro does scheduling, estimates, dispatching, invoicing, and follow-up marketing for you and your business. Now, I know that may sound complicated, and if you're an old-timer and you're not used to technology and you don't want to make that transition, stop being scared. It's super simple. It is one of the most user-friendly dispatch softwares on the market, and it's one of the best, if not the best, on the market. So highly recommend House Call Pro. I use it in my company. Gil will be using it in his eventually. So just in the first year when clients sign up for House Call Pro, they tend to see revenue growth of up to 30%. It also automates all your back office work, which can save you over 15 hours of work each week. So there you go. 15 hours that you might be paying somebody else right now to do some bookkeeping. Just buy House Call Pro, and it's a win-win. Now they can do other things that are more profitable for you and your company, and all your bookkeeping is done. So just a lot of time saved. And just for checking it out, if you have to go to www.housecallpro.com/HVAC-uncensored. Schedule a demo. You get a free $50 fuel card just for scheduling a demo. Check it out, guys. It's a great program. Get it. Stop waiting. Just get it done, especially before the summer rolls in. Get rolling on it. Your guys will love it. You will love it. Your customers will love it. House Call Pro.
And guys, last but not least, guys, web it. Especially to all you small guys out there, your one-man operations, you're just going, your plate is full, you barely have enough time to do what you have to do already. But at the same time, it's 2019. We got to be on the internet. We got to have a web page. We need to, what are we going to do? Guys, think no more. Your boys here, me and Kelley at HVAC Uncensored, we got you taken care of. Guys, web it. It's who takes care of the podcast website. Guys, it is great. $49 a month. And they will design you a beautiful website. They will maintain it, take care of it. And it's all good to go. And they're slowly adding features. Keep going. As far as online stores, E-Trade, etc. They're constantly adding new features, and the price stays the same. The SEO, the search engine optimization. Guys, this is great. If we have any issues, we call our rep Tyler within 24 to 48 hours. It's done. There's some things that we want to do, but like I said before, it's on my end that I haven't gotten what I want to him. But if I get it to him, bam, it's done. Guys, you cannot beat this for the price. When you get big and you want to build your own website, go ahead. But for now, you cannot get any better bang for your buck than Webbit for your website. So if you're interested, email us at www.hvacuncensored@gmail.com, and I will forward you our representative Tyler's information, and you can be one of the ones like all the other people that have reached out to have a banging website. So back to the show. Alrighty, man. Yeah, now, geez, that break. I don't know where everybody went for that little bit of time, but yeah, back to what we were talking about though, man. I'll say one of my little stories here briefly, and it comes to on kind of like a commercial thing as well that we have. It's like a senior living center that we've been doing work for a while. It's not one of our bigger ones. It's a smaller one, but we have constantly bent over backwards for this place because we understand the guy who runs the maintenance, and he's cool. And I'll get into that, the relationship with him and the situation here in a little bit. But, you know, he calls us like, hey, and they call them pods. Like, hey, I got a pod down. My boss is in my ass. I got customers not happy. I got their family members calling. It's 100 degrees outside, no AC. And we will switch the schedule around. We'll make it happen that we'll get out there to make sure we take care of them. We've done this, so on and so on. And we've gotten some good, you know, replacing furnaces. They have a mixture of split systems and rooftops all together. But anyway, we've always done everything for this place. We've charged them fair prices. It's all good. And then they had this new wing that they wanted. It was probably like 30 mini splits installed. And we gave them a bid. We thought it was a lock. We gave them a competitive bid. It was good. Well, apparently they got other bids, and a company was like, they beat us by like $300.
Holy cow.
And the owner gave the bid to the other company. The guy who runs the maintenance there was actually pretty pissed off because he wanted to use us, but it was kind of above him. It wasn't his decision. And he kind of let the owner of the property know, because the guy who runs the property, he's the one that we deal with, who always calls us and stuff like that. But he's not always the one making the decision because he's not the one writing the checks. But when that happened, that really, really left a sour taste in our mouth because it was like, dude, that's like the biggest smack in the face. And then it just so happens that we're out there doing PMs and we see like these other guys installing all this. And it's like, and it happened to be a time that work would have been, granted, it's a shitload of money, but it would have been great. And it's just like, fuck, man, like you got to be kidding me. Like all the stuff that we've bent over backwards, and you have $100,000 plus that's going out the window.
Yeah.
So it's just stuff like that, guys.
Over $300.
Yeah, exactly. $300. Not to mention what we were putting in was going to be way better than what they were putting in, but I won't get into that debate.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but this is what I was talking about earlier, guys, is that this stuff happens every single day, and it's so disheartening, and it's it really makes you question your dedication to those people. I mean, some people, like, that's the end of the relationship. It's like breaking up, you know, like that is the end of the relationship. So not obviously they have more properties on this one, Gil, where you guys are still doing some maintenance there, but still it's like they cheated on you, you know? And so there's this sick feeling in your stomach, and, you know, it's hard to swallow.
It is. And when you got to go out there and you got to see those things, and what's even worse is now that they're out of warranty and they call us out to
Yeah.
hey, one of the mini splits it's down. I'm like, my boss wants to be like, you can shove that thing up your ass.
Mm-hmm.
We're not looking at it, but we do. We go out and fix them. We point out the mistakes that were made during installation.
Yep.
Although I will say, I won't say their name, obviously, but I do give the company who put them in credit that the installs they did do a pretty good job.
Sure.
There's a few things that I would have done different, but they did do a good job. So I won't knock that company. It's not their fault that, the place chose to be a bunch of cheapskates and unloyal fucks. But anyway,
Right.
So, but yeah, guys, the moral of the story is all these customers tonight need to flush them down the fucking toilet. Let them loose, just like that big turd that's going down there right now. All right, that's a long flush. Sorry. But guys, yeah, the whole thing, like me and Kelley are saying, is bend but don't break. We're not saying don't take care of your customers. Don't be loyal to them because you're afraid at some point during the relationship they're not going to be loyal to you. It's just when you get put in the position that you've done everything that you have to do, and now the customer is just trying to keep, jabbing the knife to try to get more and more and more, and for the same amount of money or pay less, you're going to have to address that situation at some time. Guys, don't be afraid to grow. Me and Kelley were talking about it earlier, especially when you start out, and sometimes you have to take those so-called customers that some people don't want. When you start out, all customers are good customers, because you're getting some kind of revenue. Maybe your profit margins aren't as high as you'd like them to be, but you're making money. But as you grow, sometimes you got to start dumping those customers as you start getting the good customers. Don't be afraid to do that. Me and Kelley are saying right now, even as long as Kelley's been in business and as long as I've been doing this, there's still times that we get to part ways with the customer. And like Kelley said, it's like a breakup. Sometimes it sucks. You feel bad, especially when they call and they make it awkward. Like, bitch, I don't want you no more. Stop.
Yeah.
But you gotta do what you gotta do, man. You cannot be taken advantage of. If we're doing what we're supposed to do, if we're providing a legitimate service and it costs a certain amount of money, they can't keep take. It can't happen. And I don't know. Part of me, let me ask you this, Kelley, this situation. So you have somebody who's a service contract customer with you, and they've been a service contract customer for 5-6 years. You know them by the first name basis. They know you, blah, blah, blah. It's time for them to replace their system. They, you give them a price, but they tell you that they're going to get 3 other bids just to be safe. I'm not going to say whether they went with you or not, but does that still kind of rub you the wrong way?
Of course. Of course, because it's like they don't trust you. I mean, that's immediately what I start implying, whether that's the right way to think or not. And just like you said, even if they verbally tell you that we just want to make sure, or we just want to keep you honest, or, no matter what, they're implying that I'm not honest and we're not giving the best value. And look at the service that we provided for you all these years, and every single technician that's ever came out, you've been thrilled with. Like, good luck finding that in another company. So yeah, it's disheartening, man. It definitely tears you up.
Yeah, because it just feels like sometimes no matter how much you create the value, that they're always trying to, like we said before, that maybe it's not personal, but they're going to do what's best for them. And you might have been a great technician and you guys do great service work, but they're going to take the cheapest price that they get. They're not going to think about, oh, is this company going to come out like your company is, and, in the middle of the night, or, they're going to call and be like, hey, it's not working. I need some money now. Are they going to do that? Or if I buy this new system, is this place going to, if it breaks, is it going to take, 2 weeks to get them to come out? They don't think about that kind of stuff. But that does hurt. One thing I can say is if you're running your company properly, you're doing what you're supposed to do, that's it's gonna happen, but it should happen less and less. It shouldn't be the norm. Me personally, if that's the norm, then you need to kind of look in the mirror because something's going on.
Sure.
We do have that happen. It's rare, but it still hurts. It still sucks, and it makes you sit back and think like, what the fuck, WTF, man.
Well, I think like in my situation with this particular, with the demand that they were asking, like we want all these extra services provided, but we're going to shop around and we think we're overpaying. So in that case, I was the one firing them and they weren't firing me. So, 2 weeks later, they responded back to me, and that's because they're hurt. They're hurt that we fired them, just like we would be hurt if we were in the situation that Gil just described, and we got fired because they weren't, whether they went with us or not. I would hope that they would go with us, but we've all been in those situations where they didn't. And it hurts, it hurts bad when you've been taking care of a system and you've built this rapport and these people.
Yeah.
So
it sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. It's just part of it.
I mean,
it's just,
and like,
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and just, shit, like you said, how you fired them and they made those statements and that person thought that they had the leverage. And when you said, hey, you politely broke up with them, fired them, that they kind of didn't know how to respond. Like,
yes,
well, shit, we held all the cards and I thought I was going to get this, and this, and they gave me the big fuck you. And now what do I do? So now the negative side comes out because now they're backed into a corner because they showed their hand and it didn't work.
Exactly. And I think that's what it was. It was like we called their bluff, and so now, I know for a fact,
poker face, Kelley,
because of where they're located and they're so out in the boondocks. Like I know because we started doing that work because another company was doing that work before us. And when we got out there, everything was in horrible condition. Like they just weren't doing shit. And so we got everything back up to snuff, got everything cleaned and working properly. And of course, when you have 20 some systems, you're going to have some breakdowns once in a while, but we always did the best we could with everything we had. And, we'd send anywhere from 3 to 4 guys out there at a time for 4 days to get through all these systems thoroughly and make sure that they're up and running and ready to go for the season. But I just know that they're not going to be able to find what we provided from anyone else in my area. It's just not going to happen, especially for less money. So good luck. You had a good thing. Now you can, I just feel like, I just say that with certainty, and I'm not saying it to brag or anything. I just know we do our best every day. We try, and I know that we did a good job, and we've always handled that account with care and with love. But the love has slowly been dying off because of the way we've been treated over the last close to a year with the different invoices and stuff. So it's like, it's been rocky for a little while. And then you're going to throw this at me and you want more for less. No thanks. Time to move on. So Don't be afraid to fire your customer. And
Kelley's got a stage 5 clinger. Oh, get out of here. No, you're fired. We don't want you as a customer anymore. Please stop. Please. I don't want to.
Stage 5 clinger. That's good.
They just show up to the office. Hey, so, we're not going to be able to work out that deal. No, pretty much like the 6 emails that I've sent to you, I've said that we're no longer going to do business. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty much what that
And
says.
man, I'm going to tell you, we've done business for, this particular person has recommended us to her family, and we've put in a couple systems for different family members and stuff. And I know we've always done a great job. So I don't understand where I can't understand her side of it right at this point. So yeah, some of you may disagree with me. I don't really care. Um, there's so many customers out there that are just far easier to deal with and appreciate us and are not nickel and diming us, that I'd rather focus my attention, time, and energy on them. And that's how you have to be with your customers. As soon as you raise your rates and you start going after better clientele, and I can promise you that you'll attract more and more of those types of people. And you'll stop attracting, the landlords who own 5 properties, and every time they call, they're like, well, it's doing the same thing it was the last time you were out. And you look up the history, and it's been, a year since you were out to that property. But they want something for nothing all the time. So as you start firing those people because you get better clientele, you're only going to keep attracting more and more people who actually appreciate your service. So it's amazing. It's like the universe at work. I can't explain it, but I can tell you it's true because I've experienced it.
Yeah. And guys, it's like any other relationship in life. Sometimes you're going to grow out of it. You're going to grow out of the relationship. It's best to move on. That you're not going to be able to make each other happy. And sometimes one party's going to kind of leave a little bitter, and there's really nothing that you can do about it. And don't be afraid to do that. You know what I mean? Like in Kelley's situation, like he said, it sucks to lose that revenue, but what's he supposed to do? Eat it? Do thousands of dollars more worth of work for free? Pay his guys to be out there doing this work that he's paying them, that they can't be on other jobs, and he's not getting paid for it? No, I mean that's idiotic. We know that can't happen. So sometimes it's obvious, but we feel like we have to stay loyal, and we say yes to things that we shouldn't. And guys, don't get caught with your pants down. Stand your ground, bend but don't break. Do not be afraid to fire the customer. Like Kelley said, they're not afraid to fire you. They're going to look out for their number one. You need to look out for your number one and cover your number two, because that's what they're going to do. So 55 minutes.
Yeah. One other thing though. All success books, they all say like, you are, show me your closest 5 friends and I'll tell you your salary or how much you earn a year. And so it's kind of that way with customers. You get better customers, well, your business is going to earn more money. It's no different. And you're going to have less complaints. If all your friends complain, your closest 5 friends sit around, bitch and moan and complain all the time, and you start replacing those friends with people who, maybe manage their money better and they don't complain as much. Well, it's just like that with your customers. You hang around those people, you're going to attract more and more of those people, and they're going to bitch and moan and complain about everything and question your billing every time. And you start getting new customers, and that stuff goes away. Something else I was going to say about that, but I'm having a brain fart. Yeah, it's like the sum total of your. Anyhow, it's a lot like that. Whatever they say, that success. If you read any success book, they usually say something about that. About show me the. Get rich friends. If you want to become rich, get rich friends. Well, I'm not necessarily interested in just doing work in my business. Of course I'm not. For just rich people. I'm not interested in that. I find rich people, some of them, a lot harder to deal with, where, I like the, whatever you want to call it, middle class to upper middle class. Like those are my people. They're easy to deal with. They have a little bit of free cash to, depending on what they value the most in their homes, but they typically don't have any problems paying their bills, or they can at least get approved for credit. Like, those are my people. So we enjoy them and they enjoy us and they appreciate us. So it's kind of determining what type of people you want to work with ultimately. Like, what is your ideal customer, your avatar? And figure that out. Sit down, are they married? Do they have kids? Do they own their home? How many vehicles do they have? Where do they work? Do they have kids in college? Are they still in school, grade school? Do they live at home, or are they moved away? Do they have a dog? Do they have other family members in this area? What television shows do they like? Like, you can really narrow it down to, like, who do you want for a customer, and try to seek out those people. And every marketing message that you put out, you want to make sure that message speaks directly to those people. Like, you're just sitting in front of them, having a conversation, and it's going to resonate with them. And that's where a good marketing specialist can help you. If you're not a marketing specialist, most of us aren't. We're service techs and installers and comfort advisors. So, and managers, so anyhow, just wanted to say that the top 5 people you hang out with, it's like, show me your top 5 friends and I'll show you your, I'll show you your future. So if you want a better future, get better friends.
It's that way. My brother used to always tell me that. He always said that, you shouldn't be the most successful, productive member in your group of friends. If you are, then you need to find new friends. That you should be constantly pushing each other to get better. All my buddies, I love them, but I'm probably going to be one of the more successful ones. And
and I think that's the way it is for a lot of people.
Yeah. So how every group of friends has like that one guy who's like, oh God, fucking Steve's coming. Like, Jesus Christ. Well, my whole group was those guys. To be honest, if I didn't hang out with them, I might have been that guy. So maybe, I don't know, maybe they just made me feel good about myself. But
there you go. Maybe they inspired you to do better than what they were doing.
Yeah, maybe that's it. But some of them listen. They're not HVAC guys, but they listen to the podcast. But you guys know that I love you. You're crazy fuckers. I love you. You're just you're not good friends. That's all.
Sorry.
but real fast. Yeah. but before Kelley closes this out, but just like Kelley just said, how you're trying to do that with your customers, that, like we say in the beginning, you're constantly going to grow that, that sometimes the customer you want is going to change, and you're going to have to, slowly fire customers and accrue new ones. Guys, don't be afraid. You know your value. You know what you're capable of. You know if you're doing the right thing. Don't be afraid to fire the customer. Bend, but don't break. I'm going to keep saying that until it gets beaten to your head and you're going to be like, Gil, shut the fuck up. We get it. Bend, but don't break. But I'm going to keep saying it. Bend, but don't break. And just use that whole thing in philosophy in life. But go ahead, Kelley. Don't have another brain fart.
Yeah.
But
so I hope you guys took away a good positive message today, is that, every single thing has gotten more expensive. We don't want to get on the price thing. I know we talked about it a little bit, but the main thing is that you have to ask yourself the question, is staying in business best for my customers? So if you're not making money in your company, ask yourself that question. Of course, staying in business is best for your customers. So you have to make money. The sole reason your business exists, the company you work for exists, it's not to take care of customers, it's to earn a profit. And that may sound harsh, mean, crude, rude. I don't care what it sounds like. It's the truth, because without profit, the company does not exist, and you don't have a job and you don't have a business. So the pain that not having enough money can cause within the company, I've been through it time after time after time during different seasons. Just came out of a season that was no fun. It's no fun. Like, so fire the bad customers, work on getting new ones. Now's the time. Get as many calls as you possibly can. Absolutely blow those customers' minds when you go out to their homes, so you can gain them as a permanent client. Sell them a maintenance agreement. Gain them as a permanent client, and you'll watch your little business start doing so much better than you ever imagined. So don't be afraid to fire people. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you learned something. I hope we gave you some fuel and some encouragement to do what you may need to do with one of those particular clients that you have right now. Don't wait, just do it. Please subscribe to the podcast. Check us out on YouTube, and just appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thanks so much for listening. We just love the support, and we just couldn't do it without you, and we probably wouldn't do it without you. So thank you, and go make money.
Yeah, guys, as always, thank you. We're doing the closing, but real fast, I want to read something because I was finally able to find it. Kelley, this is the one I was talking about.
Okay.
It's a guy who posted in another group, and this is a review that he left for a company. This business will price gouge you. They charge a minimum of 600% more for the materials they used. Do not use unless you are willing to pay significantly more. It is worth another service call to save the money. They charge $50 a pound for R410 coolant, which is dirt cheap.
Yes.
The commercially available price is $6 a pound. No, it's not. They charge $300 for sealant. That's kind of. The commercially available price is $35. They're only there to take advantage of your troubles, blah, blah, blah. And then the guy said, I'm not going to, because I don't want to give the company's name. The blah, blah pricing is price gouging. They build the cost for materials used at least 600% higher than the cost commercially available. Do not use unless you, that's the same thing they said in the other one. So yeah, I mean, things like that. I mean, I guess that one's kind of an obvious one that you're not going to want to use that customer. But
so, first thing I would do in that situation is I'm going to respond, please give me a call. And then I'm going to start calling him and saying, hey, I just want to give you all your money back. I'm so sorry you feel this way. It was not our intention. I'm going to give it all back. Just please take the review down. If I give your money back, will you take the review down? It's worth it if you can get the review taken down. So that's what I personally would do. I don't know if it's right or not. I know that the guy's wrong, period. But when you get those, we're always willing to just give. We don't get. Our day is coming. This can happen to anybody. Any single company can get this exact same email. So if I get this, I'm going to do my best to make the customer happy and get that review taken down.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely want it to go away as far as how you handle it. But
yeah.
But guys, once again, the moral of this podcast is to don't be afraid to fire the customer. Sometimes, guys, we have to do things like that as we grow. And it's one of those necessary evils of the company that you don't necessarily like to do, but you have to do it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys were able to get some out of this. You were able to learn from it. Even guys who are just technicians realize that sometimes you have those customers and it's not anything that you did wrong. It's just the kind of customer they are. And it happens. Even if you're the tech that's been going out there for years and now all of a sudden and they want you to call your boss to ask for more of a discount when you know it's not going to happen, et cetera, et cetera. Sometimes we have to move on. Bend but don't break. Bend but don't break. Okay? I want to beat that into your head. So guys, as always, man, we thank each and every one of you, man. We love you guys. The family and the Uncensored Nation that we have built here has been just fucking amazing. The support is amazing. We really can't thank you guys enough. I mean, just from the emails and the text messages, the private messages that I get from guys, it really is, it's overwhelming. It's the support. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Like Kelley said, man, if it wasn't for you guys, I mean, we probably wouldn't do this. I mean, you guys make it worth it. I mean, all the guys who reach out to us makes it when you're tired. You've been working all day, dealing with your own stuff. Your family wants to see you, but instead of me and Kelley are, on the phone planning shows, planning podcasts, and then we're recording and then editing and stuff like that. But you guys make it worth it. As long as we're helping people out there, I will continue to do this regardless. So you guys know where to find us. We're on all the major podcast apps: iTunes, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify. Guys, subscribe to the podcast. That way it's waiting for you every Monday. I know the podcast came out last Wednesday. I apologize, especially after the 2 weeks where we didn't have them. That was my fault, 100% on me. If you guys didn't see in the Facebook group, had a company fishing trip, got back late, and then couldn't do it Monday. My son plays, a sport, blah, blah, blah. Pretty much me and Kelley have our days down to work around our schedule. So when something misses, it kind of throws things out of whack. But we are going to do our very best to make sure that we never, ever miss a week, that it gets out on time, or at least the podcast gets out at some point. But always remember that Kelley's a business owner. I run a business. I have 4 children, health issues, my wife, Kelley has his own. So we love doing this, but sometimes things happen, and we will give you everything we got. Just some weeks it's not enough, and we got to put in a little bit more effort. So just always remember that. We always give it everything we have. So yeah, that's it. I wanted to make sure I had everything to say. You guys know where to find us. Subscribe to all the YouTube channels: HVAC Uncensored, HVAC Millionaire. And we're, like we always say, we're going to keep making you guys the best versions of you. Okay, guys, be safe out there. Always make it home the same way you left. And guys, do the little things. Set yourself apart from the next guy. Like I just said, we want you to be the best version of you. A fucking rock star out there, killing it, making money, making customers happy, and just being a fucking rock star in your trade. All right? So until next week, we will talk at you motherfuckers later, man. Peace.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the HVAC Uncensored podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or email us anytime at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. Now, get back to work. Shut this down. The views and opinions shared on the HVAC Uncensored podcast may not necessarily be the views and opinions of our sponsors or guests.